I'm from India. So currently I am an associate professor at Jawaharlal Nehru University in New Delhi. And this is one of the premier universities in India. I studied up to my master's level in India. And then I came to Japan in 1996 to do my doctoral study. And I came to a very well-known institute. It's called Institute for Molecular Science in Okazaki. And I stayed in Japan for 3 years up to 1999, and then I moved to US for my postdoc and other higher research, and I stayed in US for about 5 years or so, and then I returned to India in the year 2004. Uh, so initially in my PhD days when I was in Japan for the first time, I was doing chemistry, and this is something called quantum chemistry, which essentially means you calculate your molecules properties, energies, other properties very accurately, but those are limited to very small size molecules. So that was my initial research. But after that, during my postdoctoral days in US, I slowly moved into biology. So right these days, I look more into the properties of large molecules like proteins, nucleic acids. So we try to understand how those large molecules function from very basic level. So one thing we want to really understand, although these molecules are very complex, they have thousands of atoms and many interactions, but we want to understand how they function at the fundamental level, at the atomic level, what is happening. And the techniques we use are computer simulation. So there are various kinds of computer simulation techniques. We have developed few, but also we use the existing techniques of various softwares. So our work requires quite heavy computational work. Computational power is very important.
Wow, so you start from chemistry and move to biology.
Yeah, so right now my work is something in between chemistry and biology. So in my work I need both chemistry and biology. I think these days the so-called this pure areas are not meaningful anymore. Many of the areas. So whenever we think about chemistry, usually we used to think about small molecules, but of course chemistry of large molecules are equally important. And what we call biology and chemistry, there is no sharp boundary. So it's all blurred basically. So chemistry biology is essentially same thing. In you can look chemistry in very large molecule, or in biology there could be small molecules which are playing important role. So I think this kind of research, actually this kind of research is in India is relatively new. I mean, I think in US it has been happening, maybe in Japan also it has been happening for some time, but India is more new, last maybe decade or so. More interdisciplinary research is going on. But one problem is that one needs to know several different things. In a sense, in my research, one needs to know chemistry, one needs to learn biology, and maybe some computer programming. So especially for the students, it's a little bit difficult initially to master so many different techniques. Of course, I have some experience, not only from this time. I was here 3 years back. Yeah, I think Japanese graduate students are quite high. Standards are quite high, and actually some of my fellow students when I was doing PhD, some of them have become quite successful. Actually, one of my close, I mean, we used to do PhD almost at the same time. He is a professor at University of Florida, and he has done very well. I know some other people as well, but I think English is little bit, I mean, which is okay in when they are in Japan, but when they go for conference and that is little bit negative side. So that may be, but I have also seen that most of the Japanese scientists, they can speak reasonably good English. I mean, not great, but most of them younger people. So I think over the years they pick up and slowly uh, they able to express themselves.
So,
I think at least what I'm concerned that you have a lot of freedom what you can do, in a sense that in my job, if I want to work on a particular problem, I can just do. I don't need to take someone's permission, or I can, if I want, like in my work concerns with the computer simulation of various proteins. If I think today, okay, I'll work with a particular protein, I can just do that. So a lot of flexibility. I think that is number one. And number two, you have a lot of chance to travel and interact with people all over the world. So there is a very good chance of interacting, knowing people, knowing different culture. So I think these two are very strong point. And also the job timings are very flexible. In a sense, there is not 9 to 5 or 8 to 5. You can work until midnight. You can come late. So those is, I think, is very important. And finally, of course, we are trying to understand something, trying to discover something. That itself has a pleasure, and it might be difficult, but I think you are in search of something. That's very fascinating. I think science, one has to love the subject, because it takes some time to love. I mean, you cannot love from the very first day. But I think if you like, or if you choose a topic, if you like a topic, then is a more chance you will do well. But if you choose a topic which you probably don't like very much, then you're forced to do. It's unlikely you'll do well. So if you have some sort of passion for the subject, passion for the curiosity, passion to discover something, you'll probably like, and you'll probably do well also. But saying that, science is it's not always things go well, so it can have success and failures. So one has to be mentally, I think, strong also, because this also it takes time to get a permanent job and things. So one has to be really very focused and very strong mentally. I think that's my suggestion. Yeah. No, I think this is a fantastic idea, and I think students, because Japanese students, they get a first-hand experience of listening to people from all over the world, and first of all, one is that they get to know different subject areas, and also they basically get to know the different, even the English has different accents, right? People, the way I speak, maybe another person may speak in a different way, but they are being introduced at a earlier stage. I think that's much better, so they have time to improve themselves. Usually if they don't learn now, it will be much harder when they become older. So I think this is a very good idea, and it's both from the visiting professor and for the students. I'm personally enjoying and learning something every day, so I'm very happy with by being here.